Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your host, Key Geo. Well, today, just a few seconds ago, the United States Supreme Court has struck down Biden's student loan program. So, that is the end of that. So, that means that the student loan program that was $10,000 to $20,000 that was supposed to be forgiven, it has been struck down. And I find this kind of ironic how all these Republican states, there's only been a few states that were suing, and two individuals, how they all claim that this would have been detrimental to their state. And Mohila, which is a provider of student loan, said it would be detrimental. But we failed to realize. Well, before I go any further, if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. We failed to realize that during the PPP loan, there were hundreds of thousands of people, and I'm going to say there were an exuberant amount of congressmen and women who took out PPP loans. And you can Google them up. Boebert is one of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of them. Gates is one of them. Kirshner, Donald Trump's son-in-law was one of them. The treasurer of Donald Trump's corporation that just got indicted, it's one of them. There are a lot of people in Congress who have gotten PPP loans, and they were all forgiven. Most of the people that applied for PPP loans were all forgiven. So if these PPP loans were forgiven, and these were taxpayers' money, why can a student loan be forgiven? Why? Many people say, other people have paid their debt. Why can these people pay? Oh, it's going to put more strain in the economy. But if all economists says, if this would have been forgiven, this would have put just a little dent on the economy. Just a little dent. It wouldn't have done anything to the economy. What it would have done to the economy is that all these individuals who do have a student loan, and those loans would have been forgiven, what would have happened is that the money that they was going to pay for these student loans could have gone elsewhere. They could have bought a house. They could have bought a car. That money would have gone into the economy, because we have a $1.3 trillion in student loan. And that student loan will never, ever, ever, ever get paid. And we only get bigger and bigger by more people, more students taking out loans. So that was just an ill decision by a conservative Supreme Court justices. It was done by 63, so we already know who the 6 are, and we already know who the 3 are in the liberal side. So we all know that. Why are we making hasty decisions, dumb decisions, when we know that the outcome should have been just let these people have the loans forgiven, and that's it. Like I said, we did PPP loans were in the billions, and no one cried about that. No one cried when Major Taylor Greene did it, when Gert Gates did it, when Boebert did it, when Kirshner did it. There was a lot of people in Congress who got PPP loans, and they were all forgiven, but we don't talk about that. Some say, there are a lot of people out there who pay for their student loans. Okay, fine, you pay for your student loan, but it came to a point that people said, no, now we can't. President Biden was within his rights to forgive those student loans, for the simple reason was because he acted under the same law that President Trump acted when COVID hit. It was a natural disaster. It was a natural disaster. If you see, comments say, if you see all those people who had a student loan and didn't pay their student loan, look at their economic status right now. Look at the things that they were able to buy. Look at the things they were able to establish. Look at the things how they give back to the economy because they had extra money to give or put away or buy something new because they didn't have that burden of a student loan. Yes, we all student loans are supposed to be to be paid. But let me tell you something. If I was a president of the United States, even if I was president of anything, and I would say to myself, I have a $1.3 trillion debt in student loans that I know I'm never going to see. This is never going to get paid. You're not talking about $1.3 billion, but you're talking about $1.3 trillion. It is never, ever in our lifetime going to get paid. So why keep doing it? Why keep having these companies with their money? Why keep doing that? Just let it go and start from scratch. And when you start from scratch, you start with a new system Okay, with the new system, I just can't believe that Supreme. Well, I can't believe the Supreme Court did this, but because it's a Trump appointed court, just like they struck down affirmative action, which is a dumb idea, because here we are. Judges saying, "Oh, there is no systemic racism in this country," in which there is. Schools do take you in, they do admit you in because of the color of your skin, and that's just plain fact. And anyone who thinks that there is no racism within our court system, that our court system is blind, then they gotta get their eyes checked, because there is blind in this country. There's blind in the court system. You can look at it day in, day out. When one black person does commits the same crime as a white person does, they both have the same crime. They both have no criminal records. And who gets the stiffer sentence? The black guy. We all know that. And that's a fact. That's been proven in and out. So how can you say there's no systemic racism when you see it every day? Now, when these judges choose not to accept it, that's a whole different story. But my belief is the student loan should have been taken down. You know, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you gotta look out for your country. The Republicans know that this is not gonna go nowhere. This is not gonna go nowhere. So why fight a $1.3 trillion debt? You know, here they are, the Republicans saying that look how cable's coming to your house. Look how now broadband is coming to your house. Now they're boasting on these infrastructures, and these were the same infrastructure that the states are getting now billions of dollars for. These are the same infrastructure bill that the Republican voted against. So you vote against an infrastructure bill, then it gets approved, then you get a big little thing that each state is going to get billions of dollars for the infrastructure of cable TV, and now they're calling it victory when they decided that they were not going to vote for this. That's called hypocrisy. And if you guys don't see that, you guys are blind. But let's see what happens with Biden. Let's see if he has a plan B, which he should have had a plan B from the get-go. From the get-go. There's got to be somewhere along the line where those loans can be forgiven. Or something happens. Because this is one of his campaign promises. And I can understand how these four states, all four states, all other states knew that they had no bearings on it. But to get to the Supreme Court, and when you have six Republican judges, you know what's going to happen. They're going to go with the Republicans because they were the ones that, you know, the Supreme Court has always been Republican anyways. But the court should have, Judge Biden should have amped up the court and made it 10 instead of 9. So there can be a fair outcome, because this is ridiculous. If they're going to go by what Republicans say, you might as well abolish the Supreme Court.